Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Vertical Take with Jennifer and Taha. Today is episode 12, and we have the amazing Skyla Lynne.
Hey guys. Hi.
We are so happy to have you on. You're one of my favorites.
Really?
Thank you. Yeah, you're in the top 10.
Top 10. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. There's a
There's a
lot.
lot of you guys out
A lot of
there.
hmm
There's a lot of you guys. So you
There
made it
is.
to the elite. So I'm just going to dive into the interview. So, Skyla, you've trained in acting for more than 20 years. What's one lesson from that time that still guides you every time you take on a new role?
I think the biggest thing you have to know is to never judge your character. Ever. Ever. It doesn't matter if they're a psycho killer or, evil heiress. I think if you judge your character, you don't have the truth. There's always something behind. You have to use a lot of empathy and curiosity to figure out why. Because I think a lot of times people take on a character and they're like, oh my god, like I have a gun to a head, I have my gun to a girl, and da, da, da. Like why would I do that? I can't say, oh well, ugh, that's so annoying, I'd never do that, because the person who is doing it obviously would do it. So
Yeah.
if I'm judging that action, then if I don't have the understanding beneath that, then I'm not playing the truth. You know what I mean? So I think that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things I think that actors should take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
That makes sense.
absolutely.
Yeah. Um, so was there ever a defining moment when you realized acting wasn't just a career, but a core part of your identity?
Well, I have to say, ever like the youngest memories I have, I've always wanted to be an actress. I apparently, my parents told me this is how it went down. I would look at the TV and I'm trying to say commercial, but I'd be like, I want to be on the commercial. I want to be on the
Oh,
commercial. And then my mom,
Oh,
my grandma put me in theater, and then I was like, no, like I want to be on like TV. Like I,
TV.
I didn't. Theater only lasted for a few years, and then when I was 4, I got into film acting, like an actual studio specifically for film
Okay.
actors. And but I will say a defining moment when it comes to a part of who I am, because it always has been a part of who I am. I
Yeah.
think a big milestone for me was, I came out being an influencer. I went to school for acting, but there was this lag. There was this like 3-year lag where I was focused on, being an adult. I was 19 when I moved out here. And so I kind of put acting on the back burner. And I have to say, I think it defined me when I realized that when I started doing verticals and just being in the acting industry, I was so happy. Like I can't
hmm
explain the like belonging it felt to, like,
Yeah.
it just changed my life to be back into it. Every time I went to class, and, I never felt, you know, normal in like school or whatever in ADHD, but like when I would go to my acting classes, when I was around those people, it made me feel seen and it made me feel good. And I think for the first time in a long time, like since I was 14, I'm in a place because of acting where I'm like, this is my purpose. And I know that now because I can feel it. And so I would say that was a defining realization, I definitely think.
yeah, no, absolutely. So you moved from Dallas to Chicago and then eventually to Los Angeles. How did these relocations and the solitude that sometimes comes with them shape your artistic voice?
Experience. I think experiencing new things. Actors need to be experiencing new things, trying new things, being around different people. I think, everyone's different in every area. Even in the same area, there are different types of people. And I was always someone who, I never was in one group. I was friends with the theater kids, and then the orchestra, and then the sports, and then like I'm friends with like all these people. And I think not only moving around helps with the experiences outside of my world, but in my inner world, because, you know, I'm someone who just goes for something and I do it. And I think putting yourself in a not like getting out of your comfort zone, if get out your comfort zone. And I started over in all these different places, meeting all these different people. It helps you have a range. It helps you have a range when it comes to characters, because how can I portray this character who went through this thing if I can't even understand or know someone who has gone through that? So I think it's very important that, I mean, I want to travel the world, of course, you know, like cultures and everything. And I think moving also just, it really helped me define who I am in the world.
Yeah. Okay. And you kind of have to, I think, with like being an actress and everything like that, it's good that you do like kind of mingle with everybody, because you kind of have to take a little bit of parts of each person so that you can, you know,
Mhm.
portray, because you never know what role you're going to get. And if you
Yeah,
don't have that experience, or if you don't know what, you know, that
exactly.
is.
Yeah, and obviously, like, don't go do a bunch of things that you shouldn't do, but
Yeah.
look up how people who have gone through that, you know, be around the people who have done that, but obviously not like friendly. But I think just like moving though, like you have to find your people, and in order to find your people, you start off with all the different kinds of people from different areas. So I 100% agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
So out of all the roles that you've had, what has challenged you the most? But not from a technical standpoint, but on an emotional level.
um Natalie Andre in Escape from My Destined Escape from My Destined Husband. They always change the titles on me, guys.
I
Yeah.
Escape
know.
from My Destined Husband. Every time they change it every time. I think it changed me because it was the first time my typical stereotypical character had more beneath her that was outwardly shown, and it was the first time I had this massive emotional crying scene, and it wasn't just about the gun to the head and I'm going to kill you. It was about not feeling like you belong. And so for the first time on set, I was allowed to, you know, take my time to be like, I want to do this like for real. Like, because with these characters, a lot of the times it's very muscle memory, very this was a scene I was like, no, I want to take this very like feature film, not soap opera. Like, I don't want to be soap opera. I told the director, I was like, I want to make this real. And so I took my space and I took those minutes. I mean, it's all so fast paced. So you barely have any time, but I really got into that sense, and it clicked with me once the director told me. She said, you have to understand, in this scene, it's not about, oh, she wants to be a part of this family. The thing that hits you, the thing that hits you in this scene is when he reveals that your dad has lied to you. And your dad was the only person in the entire world who you could have trusted, the only person in the world who made you feel good and seen. And like I said, I feel like my entire life, I have been someone who felt like they never belonged anywhere. Like I didn't belong in I didn't have like the groups of friends. And I felt, you know, growing up, I just was isolated a lot in my mind. And so taking on that character, it really brought something out in me where I was just like that little girl in me that's like, I want to belong. Like it's not about like I'm angry, but I want to belong somewhere. And then when the dad line hits, it's like that best friend I had, multiple best friends I had who I thought I could rely on, you know, and it was just like you're alone. And I've always had that sense of, I have a positive outlook on it now. I do live life alone. I go through life alone. I have people by my side that come in and out. Maybe there will be ones that last forever, but at the end of the day, I am going through life alone. And so like that scene really was like about just letting that out for so many years. So I think that's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah. Wow, that was deep. Thank you for sharing.
You did ask for deep. No. I say I'm an actress.
What draws you to playing the villainess? Is it the freedom to push moral boundaries, or the tragedy hidden beneath the surface?
I wouldn't say that I was drawn to villainous roles. I think that people are drawn to my villainous roles. I think I attract that attention. I mean, but honestly,
so good at it.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, at the end of the day, like when it comes down to it, like if I had to be like an evil queen or like a princess, like I want to be the evil queen. And I think it's because the tragedy underneath those characters are so beautiful. And And they're more fun to play, like obviously they're more fun to play. But I think that I enjoy complex characters. And I think when it comes to like nice girls, whatever, they show what they feel inside. They feel something and they outwardly express it. Villains feel something inside, but outwardly express the opposite, And so I enjoy having that dynamic within myself and my performance. It's very fun for me.
Well, and that is the thing that I think it kind of sucks about like the verticals is that you don't get to dive deep into why the villain is the way that they are because
Mm-hmm.
nobody wakes up and says, I want to be the mean girl or the villain or something. There's a reason why they became that way.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
because of the repetitiveness of the plots, I kind of have a general understanding of every time.
Yeah.
It's most of the time it comes from a place of weakness within themselves and insecurity. It's an insecurity, it's a lack of control, and it's always a lack of control. And I
Yeah.
think lack of control comes from, the insecurity within yourself, to do the things you need to do. So when they feel they don't have control or they don't have the attention, that they're not loved because they were taught young that if you want to be loved, you have to work for it.
Yeah.
How do you protect yourself from carrying the emotional weight of darker roles into your personal life? How do you separate those two?
Yeah. So detachment. You really just have to do detachment. The moment they call cut, you have to kind of get into a space of detachment. Shaking it off physically, can always help. But I think the biggest thing comes outside of acting. Like I train daily for myself on how I can better control my emotions and control my thoughts. And I've learned that those dark thoughts that I have personally are not mine unless I attach to them. So I'm sure other actors have their other ways, but I do that in my daily life because we all have those dark thoughts. And when I have dark thoughts, I tell myself that's not me. We all have like intrusive thoughts about like, driving off the bridge. Would you say that's you? No. What defines you is what you attach to. So the person who decided to listen to that thought of what if I just drove off the bridge right now, those intrusive thoughts, if someone did that, that becomes their character because they decided to attach to it. So I do the same thing with my characters. These characters are not me at the end of the day. These thoughts that I have in these characters are not me. So I think it takes a lot of working on that within your actual life and emotions to be able to do that in acting, because I know a lot of people who can't do that and it becomes detrimental to their health. And that's why personally, unpopular opinion, I do not think method acting, like pretending like you're in the character all the time. What I think that is one of the unhealthiest ways. I am not an actress who stands by that. I also think in order to be an actor, you to be a good actor, and Jack Nicholson, I mean, he does that. I mean, it's there are great actors who do that method of constantly staying in the character the entire time. Yes, they are great actors, but in my head, I think what defines a good actor is someone who can detach, someone who can go in and out. Because if you're having to stay in that sense, at that point, you're not acting. You're just becoming a little bit delusional to the point. Yeah. And so that is like, I know some people might hate me for saying that, but I don't think that that's, first of all, a healthy way to do it. And I don't think that shows that you have the ability to become that person like that. If you have to be in that all the time, then you don't have that skill. And I think personally, a good actor, which again, these are great actors. I think an amazing actor is someone who can like that. And I'm told that I do that on, like, you can ask, I've actually had a lot of like people like say to me, like, when they call action, it's like you want, like, it's like a flip of the switch. You just like turn it on. Like you become like your face changes. Like everything changes about you. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's probably fine.
It is interesting because you did mention like Jack Nicholson and stuff, and I think that's what happened to Heath Ledger was because he was doing the Joker, and it was such a dark role.
Yeah, and the problem with Jack Nicholson is like their family made him go into a hotel. Like and if you're ruining your personal like relationships, your family for a role, then you're telling me that you don't have that ability. Yes, I think he's amazing. Do I think that is the way to do it? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No way is that that is not what acting is. That's not acting. That's just a little delusion into it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and
I get
some
it.
people might hate me for saying that, but I personally don't think that that's any kind of way that anyone should be getting into
Yeah.
it.
When preparing for a complex villainess, how do you mentally navigate between her darkness and her humanity?
I think it has to do with empathy and
Mm-hmm.
understanding their backstory.
Mm-hmm.
The darkness comes within, you know. I mean, everyone has a story and there's always something beneath. And I think everyone is born with like love and light, and just how someone is raised can
Yeah.
create a persona of a villain.
Yeah.
And I think navigating that is navigating what caused this reaction.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
when I'm doing something evil, it's not that I'm thinking that I'm doing something evil. It's I'm doing what I was taught. It's survival. It's a
Yeah.
survival instinct that came from either trauma or how they were raised. So navigating between the villainous and the humanity is that the villainous is a mask of the humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to understand the humanity side in order to not play a flat, and I know like a lot of flat, like, oh, I'm just mean. I think that's what draws people to my villains is that I'm more than just a bitch. You know, I am complex. I'm not just, oh yeah, all the time. I mean, sometimes it's hard with the scripts. All right. But
Yeah.
I think that in every character I play, I try at least to show in some capacity that there is a heart within.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Skyla, audience often connects more when they understand a villain's motive. How do you balance fear and empathy in your portrayals?
I think it comes down to triggers. I think
Mm,
there's always triggers, and some are deeper. The deeper the wound, the harder it's hard, the harder it is to mask. So if something triggers me to be, you know, do one thing, but it doesn't trigger me too much, I can hide that emotion.
yeah.
You know, oh, you said like, oh, you ugly. Well, I don't really think I'm ugly, but I'm gonna be a bitch about it because you told me I'm ugly. You say no one ever loved you, that triggers a deeper wound, and that's where you have to show it coming out a little
Yep.
bit. Because the deeper the wound, the deeper the trigger, that's when the masking of that emotion will show.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to, oh, this doesn't really bother me, but it was bitchy you said that, you're just going to see, okay, whatever. You say, oh, you don't love me, it's going to be more of a, how dare you like say that? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hit a nerve. And so I think the empathy comes out, like the fear and the empathy comes out depending on the wound
Yeah.
with the character, 100%.
So after someone watches you as a villainess, what is the feeling you most want them to leave with?
I want them to leave with questioning if I was actually ever a villain at all.
Ooh.
Okay.
I
Okay.
want to
I like
feel,
that.
yeah, I want them to feel conflicted, like they're a
Mm-hmm.
little disturbed by my actions, yet they understand me to a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can see pieces of themselves in her, even the smallest bit, I think I did my job.
Yeah.
Because when they leave, because a lot of, and it's really hard, especially with these verticals. And I mean, I've had post production completely cut my crying scenes out because they didn't want me to show them. Yeah, every time. So now I have to cry in every coverage. It's every time I shed a tear, they will do a take that was from rehearsal because they don't want to show that. And I get that for verticals. But it's really saddening, and it really hurts when I'm like looking at the show and I'm seeing it. I'm like, you just took that part of that character from me, you know, in that sense. And obviously, like, that's
Yeah.
I get that. But for me, I like to play villains. I think every villain has a heart, you know.
Of course,
Yeah.
everyone has a heart.
You know, and so I want people to leave being like, I can understand where she's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I can see her pain. Doesn't mean I agree with what she's doing, but I want them to see more than just a bitch being a bitch.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that is the most unhumane thing ever. You know, it does with these verticals. It's a little hard to do that.
Yeah.
It really is. You have to have a really great director, really great production, in order for them to be able to allow you. Because I've had notes where I've had notes like, you're a 2D character, you're 2D, like just be 2D, or you don't really, you did like, stop showing that you can, you know what I mean? And I mean, I'll give them what they want. I'll give them what they want. But I think the best shows that I've been in, and honestly, there is a statistic of like the ones that I did show that I had reasons for what I did. Are the shows that do better.
Yeah. They need to take that on. Hello.
I know. But
Believe that.
yeah, I always want them to leave just being like, like I see her.
Yeah.
See
No,
her.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's the kind of villains. Obviously, there's villains that you'll just play that you're just supposed to hate. But I feel like in most like box office movies, there's always that little scene. There's always a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Some cliche going on.
Exactly. So yeah.
And see, I'm a characters girl. Like I want to know their background, like why they are the way that the psychological, I guess, part of it. And
Yeah.
that's it's sad that like verticals can't, because you don't have enough time to
No.
get into that.
I mean, at this point, it's like with the first few I did do that, but now it's like I'm kind of the same character reverberated with a different backstory. So at that point, it's just like the same internal wounds of growing up, and then whatever the story is, I pick my triggers. What actually affects me when you say it? What actually pisses me off? What actually hurts me a little bit? And that's how I navigate that with verticals.
So, if you could create your own original villain from scratch, what would her deepest conflict or inner or hidden secret be?
Love versus ambition.
Ooh.
I think it's a villain who once loved, had a lot of light, gave her all, but time and time again has been showed that she doesn't get anything from it. She loves and she cares and she puts people above her only for her to lift them up while she stays stagnant. And so she has this defining moment where she says, you know what? I choose me. And I'm done caring, because all that caring got me, and all that caring and loving got me was nothing. And so I think that's I think that would be an amazing character to play.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. How to be a villain or villainess 101 with Skyla.
Villainess 101.
Are there characters or scenes that have stayed with you long after filming wrapped?
Yes, I would say Karen Brown from In Sister's Name, Time for Payback, because it wasn't a romance. It was the only one that was not there was no male lead, and it was genuinely just like me torturing this poor girl. But it stayed with me because it was nice. It was nice to not be doing the boy and the duh and then this and it was
and the drugging.
I mean, the drugging. I mean, listen, I did worse on this one. This one was like torture, so there was still some of that. All right, but no, it was just a relief. Like it was like me and like my posse, and then like this girl, and she has like a twin, and we literally torture her in the woods, and then accidentally think we kill her. We put her in a body bag. I end up getting shot in the head. Like it was so fun because it had nothing to do about like me wanting to be with a man or me. It was like, I'm a businesswoman and she's getting in my way.
Yep.
And it was just fun. It was something different, and I loved it.
Yeah. Amazing. So Skyla, if one of your villainesses had their own soundtrack, what emotion or genres would define it?
Bad bitch anthems. Like bad bitch anthems, like Tate McRae. I'll listen to Tate McRae, Ariana Grande, some Billie Eilish. Like we need a girl singer, you know, going in for it. Sometimes I'll listen to like Greedy or like You Don't
Mhm.
Own Me, and like just like that music you play when you're like, I'm single, I'm free, and I'm confident. Like just
Exactly.
that era. Like that's the kind
Yeah.
of music you gotta listen to.
Mhm.
It's funny because I usually go and like when I make a post on the page, I always try to find like
A good
songs.
song.
That, and I put Miss Possessive by Tate McRae as your post,
Girl,
like
I'm
for your
telling
song.
you,
I was
I'm really getting into lately. Really getting into lately. I'm like, this is okay. I get it because I listen to like a
Yeah.
lot of indie alt, and lately I'm just like when I'm in like an upset mood, I don't want to listen to like Cage the Elephant. Like I want to listen to like, Let's Go Girl, We Got This. Like you're hot,
Yeah.
you're sexy. Like get ready.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I need
Mhm.
that. That's so yeah. Just like I would just call it bad bitch anthem
Yes.
Mhm.
playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
I actually do have a playlist called Bad Bitch on Spotify.
Okay.
That I created not
Yeah,
for acting, but for me.
Yeah.
yeah. I have one too, but I usually play it whenever I'm like working out because it kind of gives you like when you're working out, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you're trying
Yeah,
to
no, I'm so different with the
just
working out. Like I don't want to listen. I want to listen like I don't really listen to rap, but like I want to listen to like rap. Like if I'm running, this is weird. This is a fun fact you guys just get. When I run like on a treadmill, I listen to sad music.
Mm.
I listen to like
okay.
sad music and like get emotional. Like if
Yeah.
something's like upsetting me or like I'm
Okay.
angry or like I just like get emotional. So when I'm running, I'll be listening to like Strangers or something like ting, ting. But when I'm like lifting, that's when I'm like I want to listen to some like Travis Scott and Kendrick Lamar
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and Kanye, which I again would only listen to when I'm lifting weights. But the bad bitch anthems, those are for like getting ready. Like when
Yes.
I'm ready for the
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No.
There you
Absolutely.
go. Um, so in what ways do you see music and acting as parallel crafts, both thriving in nuance and emotional layering?
They both come from within.
Mm.
They're both unique.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They're pieces of you
Yeah.
that you build into an beautiful art that that is like your truth in a sense,
Yeah.
um, where an audience can feel it. You
Yeah.
know, when
Yeah.
I think the difference is singing's definitely more raw. Singing is something I'm more insecure about sharing because my music is, which again I haven't really shared my music. I you know one time when I was like in high school or whatever, and I've sang on TikTok a few times, but I've never genuinely shared or tried to release a song.
Mhm.
Not only because it's like really hard and like that's a lot, but there was a year before I started acting, and I was like, I think I'm going to be a singer instead of an actor. And I started writing all these songs. But the problem with the music industry is we're all depressed. The music industry people are all depressed. They're just a bunch of
I
depressed
believe it.
people.
You see what's going on with Justin Bieber?
Oh, have you
Let's
seen?
not get into it.
But no, but it's like a diary for me.
Yeah.
It's singing is very more you know, acting, you're
Yeah.
taking a little bit of pieces of you and
Yeah.
making something, but with the singing, this is 100% me. So no matter
Yeah.
what, you're using pieces of you, but singing, like what I'm a great songwriter. Obviously, like I've never released too many things officially ever. But I'll show friends and they're like, why don't you release this? I'm like, I don't know. There's an insecurity to it because
Yeah.
it's I don't write like fun, happy songs. I write my deepest demons, and
Mhm.
I write it's basically my soul written into a piece of art.
Yeah.
And you can do that with acting, but you can hide behind the mask of a character. So when you see me
Absolutely.
acting sometimes, like I'm genuinely crying about a situation exactly like that. Like that is my emotion, but it's hidden between the line of the screen.
Yeah.
Um,
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you
So what?
show a little bit of vulnerability, I think, with music. And I think that's a
mhm. I actually like I started writing when I was 8, and I think the only way that I would like try to the only way that I was able to express my emotions to like my
Mhm.
parents and my family. I mean, were through my songs, especially when I was going through like a really, really hard time and I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I would write music and I would play them the songs, and we didn't really have to talk about it. It was more like, you know now, you know how I'm feeling. It never really was a discussion. And that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't really want a discussion. Sometimes I just wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
But doing that for other people, it's definitely more, you know, but being in that headspace, I realized I'm not someone who's good with dealing with that. Like writing music, I was writing 2 songs a day for like almost a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
But when you're in that headspace for so long and you're around other people who are in that headspace for so long, it was just not a path I wanted to go down. And I decided, and again, like I said, the second I started acting and I was like, you know what, it's not singing, it's acting, my life completely changed for the better. And if singing comes down the line, I would 100% be more open to it.
What have you learned from the indie productions that shaped you more profoundly than working on larger projects?
Well, you are working with everyone and brainstorming with everyone. Sometimes helping people beyond your own role, which helps you learn how it's working. You know, on bigger productions, you do your job and that's it. On these tinier productions, you're helping everyone. Everyone's helping everyone, and you get to learn how a production actually works. It forces you to learn more than just the acting. It helps you learn the production process, and that's the big thing that I take from that is now I know how to, you know, camera op and scripty and the names of things. On bigger productions, you don't have time to ask questions. You don't have time to be collaborating creatively. Yeah, so I definitely have learned so much in the past year just being on tinier productions. For sure.
So what part of your artistry do you feel is often overlooked? And would you like to showcase more in the coming years?
I would love to play a lead role. I obviously have the ability to do any other things other than being a villain, but I have been put in a box because I am good at what I do. And I'm very grateful because I'm also, I mean, I'm on an interview right now for just doing a villain, and some of that is rare. Mostly it's the leads who get the attention, and I'm so grateful to be so well liked as a villain and so well known as a villain. But it has put me in a position where it's hard to have anyone else see me as anything else. But I am ready for that, something new. I am trying actively. But again, my looks with these kind of like roles is not, they have a very specific look. They're looking for. But if given the opportunity, I think they would see that I could bring them more than they think that that I could, because most productions that I've worked with multiple times are like, you still haven't gotten a lead yet, you know, like stuff like that, because I'm good at what I do. And I would love to see someone see me as someone innocent, not someone drugging people all the time. I am nice in person.
So with 2 truths and a lie, so what you're going to do is you're just going to tell us 2 different truths and then 1 lie, and then we're going to guess which one is the lie.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm allergic to cats.
Okay.
I love chocolate. I'm an only child. Was that pretty good?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm allergic to cats, so if that is true, then that's something we have in common.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what do you think?
I don't think you're an only child.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't think you like chocolate.
You got it right. You got it right. I am an only child. I don't love chocolate. The only thing I eat will be like Reese's. I can't eat like chocolate straight up. I'm not a huge fan of chocolate, but
okay.
Yes, I am an only child. And you know what? I almost accidentally said that like during another conversation about not feeling like I belong, which now you put that in. The reason why I felt like I never did belong because the only people I could have.
Only child.
I was an only child. I didn't have siblings to stay by my side, and I didn't make friends who stayed forever. So I felt like I was going through life alone a lot because I was an only child, and I had to learn to be my own company.
And you're also allergic to cats.
I'm also allergic to cats. Yeah, sadly.
Me too. Hey.
I had a
okay, so real quick. So there you go, guys. If you guys guessed it right, there we go. It kind of was obvious. Villainess, bitter,
What?
no chocolate, no sweet.
People say that they're like, when I tell them I'm an only child, they're like, yeah, we can tell. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so we're gonna do the rapid fire. If you feel uncomfortable with something, you can just say
my gosh,
pass.
yeah.
2.5 minutes on the timer.
Okay,
Whenever you're ready.
You jumpy jacks.
You
All right.
ready?
Fix my hair. Let me look good. All right. Let's go.
Okay. City life or country life?
It's outside the city,
Okay.
not country.
First thought when you read your villain's big scene.
Big city. My first thought, it's gonna be fun.
Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
First love or last love?
Lost love.
Villain karaoke song?
Villain karaoke song. Gangster.
Okay.
Gangster, but not a good song.
Backpacking or luxury resort?
Luxury resort.
Never fail or never give up?
Never give up.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
What's the cruelest line your villain character has ever delivered?
I don't think I should say. I actually have to. I was gonna say something really bad, but
You can if you want.
I told them to take it out.
What was it?
It was really. It was like a sexual essay line.
Oh, okay. Let's not go there.
Yeah, no.
Hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel. If it like a nice hotel,
Okay. Anime or Western cartoons?
Neither. What's
Okay.
a Western cartoon?
Like
what?
American cartoons.
Oh,
Because anime is like Japanese.
Oh, like cartoon.
Yeah, like regular cartoon or
Yeah,
anime.
they were like Western cartoons.
Yeah, I was.
I know that threw you off.
Family Guy stuff.
Yeah, that's cartoon. Yeah, that's fine. Physical touch or words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation.
More satisfying, breaking a hero's spirit or ending their story?
Ending their story.
Oh, you just want to kill them?
Yeah. Is that bad?
Okay. The timer went off, but I'm just going to do the rest. Be feared or be loved?
For myself, loved. But like for my villains, feared.
Okay. Lose all your memories or never make new ones?
Will I keep the new ones?
Yes. The new ones that you make.
Okay, we'll make new ones.
Okay. Which scene made you feel truly dangerous?
My gun scene where I had a girl tied up and I was like threatening her and I was gonna shoot her in the face.
Wear socks and sandals or Crocs with a dress?
Socks and sandals.
Okay. Which is harder, looking scary or staying scary?
Neither.
Neither?
Looking
They're both
scary,
easy?
Looking scary, easy. Staying scary, just keep it.
Okay, classic. Last one, summer or winter?
Summer.
Perfect. So thank you guys very much for watching towards the end. I will link all of Skyla's details, Instagram, Facebook, everything in the description box below. And as always, peace.